see, if you don't know the part yet, we can't even talk about impact.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have to know where we are going, where we are supposed to lead our conversation, or where we are supposed to lead whatever it is we are doing towards, to determine exactly where we want to go. Now, that's for me personally. Would you say that there was any time when, because if you say that everything you were talking about had to do with medicine, had to do with public health, had to do with something that has to do with health in general, right? So it means that most of the inspirations you were having, most of the thoughts you're having was in public health. Was there any time when you had a conflicting, like what I said, a conflicting inspiration or thought? Not inspiration really, just you got to a juncture where you were trying to determine which path should I take between those two?
Yeah, so for myself, and I think it's the same pattern for a lot of people that God is dealing with, career is oftentimes a means to an end, which is why there is a need to constantly pay attention to the inward witness. The Bible says there's an inspiration in a man, and that inspiration is the Spirit of the Almighty. It gives him understanding, just like you said, every manufacturer has a purpose behind every creation. There is a popular saying that we have said over and over again on this platform, that the essence of creation is the fulfillment of purpose. It said in Jeremiah 1, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I already ordained you into something. So if we acknowledge that God is the creator, and that He's creating us for something, if He has put everything inside of you, there's an expectation that He wants those things to be channeled into, So, but to answer your question, it was a means to an end. There's a lot more to me, there's a lot more to my conviction. And, those are the things that I constantly do on a daily basis. And I want to use this opportunity to bring it home that purpose is not far-fetched. A lot of people think purpose is something that is so big and you have to do a lot of digging and searching to be able to unravel. No, that's not what purpose is. Purpose is what you do on a daily basis. It's a functional responsibilities. We want to know what the mind of God is per time. We want to know what our spirit is nudging us to do per time. So if you know what your spirit is nudging you to do on a daily basis, and you do those things, you are already fulfilling purpose. One thing about God is there's always a process, a journey between the vision and the destination. Before the children of Israel left, the land of Egypt, He's been telling them about the promised land, but they didn't know that there's a desert in between. And the reason for that desert is to take them through the journey of the process, to take them through the process that they need to get to the destination. Everything grows up. Whatever goes up comes down. But whatever grows up remains, because that thing grows, it goes through the process, But coming back to me, there was a lot of times that I had a lot of conflicting thoughts. Where should I go? Because I have a lot of gifts. I have gifts in music. I have gifts in health. I want to do something in health. I want to do something in speaking. So how do I understand which of these things that I should go? And I've asked this question over and over again until God was helping me to channel, and the answer that I got is do my will today. Whatever you do today is my purpose for you today. And the accumulations of doing or yielding to the promptings of the heart will culminate or eventually get a man into what he should be doing with his life, which is the original purpose, if that makes sense. So I've done a lot of things. Whatever I'm doing now is part of it, but wherever I've come from is an ingredient of nobody listens to a man without a result. What am I talking about if I don't have any result to show? How am I going to say something worked for me if I don't have the result to back it up, if I don't have evidence? But that I'm bold to talk about these things today is because they have been tested and trusted and they have yielded result. And so I can talk about it that they are functional, they are effective, whatever those things are. So to answer your question is paying attention to your inward witness, understanding that purpose is not something that is far away. Purpose is doing what is responding, is identifying and responding to the promptings of your heart on a daily basis. Whatever, out of all the things that comes to your mind today, how many of them did you do? Of course, you are gifted in, just like the example you were using, you have an auditory power, it's a gift that you have, but you went to work today and somebody was crying just, beside you, and the Spirit nudged them to, just have a conversation with this person. You have a solution to their, current problem. Just a word of encouragement could save a life on that day. That could be your primary purpose on that same day. That's why when the disciples of Jesus came to him to say, teach us how to pray, he said, our Father who is in heaven. Of course, there has to be a relationship. He said, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth the same way it is done in heaven. So there's the will that God has. I mean, when I say God, this is the God that creates everyone, that has a purpose in mind when he was creating someone. So he has an agenda. And as we yield ourselves to him and listen to the inward witness, we are fulfilling the purpose. And if you see very well enough, it's just a matter of time, the accumulation of those daily fulfillment of nudges and promptings will eventually land you into the fulfillment of purpose. I hope I answered your question.